Hey y'all, it's your girl Just Bree coming at you with another video from the lead attorney. Why is pretty black attorney still single? Lawyer cross-examines lawyer. So I just want to get my 2 cents, more like 10 cents because I got a lot to say. So let's play the track, play the audio, and I will chime in. And feel free to hit the like, share, subscribe. Thanks for listening.
It's like a Kevin Samuels show.
People love you. Listen, you are beautiful inside and out. You're an excellent content creator. And people want to know how you feel about this. Now, let's just get something straight, but just to kind of let it, first of all, tell people a little bit about your YouTube channel.
All right. Well, thank you, TLA. Thank you for mixing up this chat today. I'm over here dying with laughter, reading the chat and listening to you. You are hilarious. But thank you for the opportunity. I have a channel.
Oh, you know what, guys? I just realized he put timestamps in here, so I'm going to go straight to the timestamps because I don't want to do the small talk here. So, let's see where I want to start. Let's start from why is Suzette speaks single. Here we go.
Now, who do we have? Who do we have? We have a black woman.
Oh, Lord.
Right? Who is knowledgeable, who is educated.
Can I say something real quick? And I don't mean that I don't want to be that one to stop the video every 5 seconds, but this person that gave the super chat, Jonathan Barronville, says counselor is gorgeous. Wait, am I simping? Why is that simping? Because you think somebody's pretty. That doesn't make sense to me. This whole simping, non-simping, like, where is the line drawn in the sand with that? Because saying that a woman is attractive, I don't get it, but okay.
Who is attractive. What does time say? You know what time says? It says she's single. All right? Says she's single. Why? Why is it that someone who looks like you, why is it someone who is educated as you? Let me just ask you, just to be, are you 100% black or what's your deal?
No, I'm black.
Okay, listen, you're down there in Miami. All right, listen, in Miami, you don't know what the hell's going on.
Lots of mix. My parents are Jamaican.
Okay, you're Jamaican. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't listen.
African American. Yes.
You might be able to assume in Decatur. You cannot assume in Miami. You could be anything down there. So it's a fair question. All right. Shout out to Kid. It says this is TLA's opening statement. Listen, we call it right out here, right? And shout out to the Blackest Night. It says salute and respect to TLA, aka the People's Attorney. Just curious to know what is Suzette Speaks' definition of a good man, since it usually determines why most black women are single. Yes, I mean, to me, and just being respectful. To me, you are beautiful, you're educated. Can I ask you? You're not supposed to ask this, but can I ask you?
Don't ask me. Don't. I know what you want to ask me. Don't ask me. Because it's not Kevin Samuels. No, don't ask me.
I was just going to ask you your age, right?
But I know, and I'm not going to answer you.
All right, fair enough. We don't know her age.
So she thought he was going towards that whole weight height thing. But I am kind of, I guess, the fact that she won't say her age is a little off to me, but whatever, I guess. Because I'm not ashamed to say I'm 42. Because, for the most part, I don't necessarily look my age. But, that's only, I'm going based off of what men say to me. I'm not super fine or nothing like that. But I've been told that, I look good for 42. And I have a 24-year-old, which I started young, so whatever. But
why is it that
I don't know why she's ashamed of her age, but yeah, I don't know.
A person, and I'm not trying to be like Kevin Samuels. To be honest, guys, that's a relevant piece of information. It's private, so you don't have to answer it. But because a man in this contest asks you your age, it's not like he's trying to be Kevin Samuels. If you are 21 versus if you're 45, the what you could be looking for could be absolutely different.
And that's such a good point. That's why she should have answered the damn question. Because, like he said, what you're looking for, what you're looking for at 21 versus 45 is two different things, ma'am. You know.
So that your age is relevant, but it's private, so you don't have to answer. There's no problem at all. All right. Why is it, do you think, that you are single?
Well, can I answer first about what is a good man?
Absolutely. Also, guys, if you want to ask Suzette Speaks any questions, just put them in the chat. Just put Q and in the chat, and then I'll ask it.
TLA applying pressure. Thank you.
Hold on, listen. Everyone, like, don't answer that. Listen, guys. I mean, we're fucking adult. Like, oh, don't ask a woman her age. Like, what the hell are we doing?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, no, this is not to you, Suzette Speaks. This is to the chat. It's like, women, Jesus Christ. Don't answer your age. I can see if you're 80 and you're embarrassed. But goddamn, we're supposed to be adults and to have an adult conversation. You can't even ask a person's age, right? You don't have to answer because it's private. I'm not talking to you, Suzette. I'm talking to the chat. Okay. It's like, Jesus Christ, guys. But okay. So yes, what in your definition is a good man?
So there's so many parts that go into relationships. So again, this is just me, guys. And I would open by saying, since you gave your opening statement, counselor, that, good men are very present. Sometimes we don't see them as good men. I do think there's a lot that has to do with the Hollywoodization, Real Housewivesization, celebrityization in terms of what we have access to viewing, in terms of people's lifestyles and the partners that they're picking. So I think a lot of discounting has been going on for what some would call, the average Joe, kind of what you've explained. Most people are not at the very top or at the very bottom. We're all, in the middle. So when we're looking for, people to, procreate with and produce offspring, it's natural that women want like the top of the food chain. However, when we're being more practical, like you're saying, with the numbers being what they are, most men are going to fall in the middle in terms of being, probably median income, not very high earner. We know that like less than 5% of people make, these good six figures across the board. So the likelihood of you finding a man that is ready to be married, looking to be married, finding you attractive, your lives and your interests align, and there's that, just the good timing is very rare. But I think with shows like, The Bachelor or with the Real Housewives, people think that they have a plethora of choices to match their high standard. That's just not true. And I don't think a lot of us whose parents were well-meaning, who, wanted us to make the best choice possible. Wait. That was me. My parents were like, school. It was never talked about in my household, when to marry and how to seek out someone for marriage. That was never my mom. I asked her and I was like, why you didn't say anything? She thought it would just naturally happen. But like other, high value, if you will, women or women who have been very focused and have parents who have been pushing them.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting starts.
I do think as a result of kind of like the opening up of women into the job market post the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, our parents saw that women had a lot more choices.
Let me jump in right here. It seems like what you're saying is that the parents pushed the women to get an education and prioritize themselves.
To achieve.
Why do you think these parents didn't prioritize family? Why do you think they have prioritized achievement more than family?
That's a great question. My cousins and I talk about this all the time because a lot of my older cousins are married, but my generation and younger, I guess it's split. But we talk about, we never had these conversations with our parents, how to date, how to look for a good man, how to, consider people for courtship, if you will, to use an old-fashioned term, how to, make oneself attractive or available to be found. When they say a man finds a good woman, how do you make yourself available to be to be found. I think they were just trying to, I even in my own self, just thinking about my experience, babies and having babies early was like drilled into me as being, the worst thing that could ever be done in my life. So I had like a real averseness to even seeking relationships when I probably should have been. When I was in college, I was busy.
Now, I will say that, based off of what she's saying, I mean, ultimately, it's her responsibility to have sought out, a husband and whatnot in a timely manner. But I kind of had the same issue because I was taught basically keep your mind off the boys and in them books, and that was the end of that was all the teaching I got. And like she said, pregnancy being the worst thing, but I did end up having a kid at 17. So, and instead of after me having the kid, you know, um, I don't know. Let's listen to her.
Busy trying to run the campus. I was the leader. I was the president of this, the president of that, and I enjoyed it. But I remember one of my homeboys who was also a noob. Shout out to Jacoby. He would be like, "Dang, where your man at?" And I was like, "Wait, I'm running for student government. I'm running the campus. What are you talking about?" And he was like, "He gotta love you and your organizations, don't he?" I was laughing at the time, but he was trying to bring to light that there should be other things on your agenda. But even with my older cousins, even with my family, and particularly my parents, that was never emphasized. That was not something that was, just seen as a priority. The priority was becoming the best you could be, proving the system wrong. That Black people could be equal, that Black people could get graduate degrees, that we could do and be and earn what we hadn't been able to, for the majority of us in past generations. So I think they were kind of really stuck in this achievement mindset because of society as a whole, because of what they could not experience. A lot of our parents did get married young. So they didn't have the choices that we have now in terms of education and quote putting off marriage. But I look at my friends who did have children young, and I'm like, wow, they make out well too. It wasn't like the life stopping scenario that I think many of us who were brought up, fairly, middle class.
It's just so unfortunate that she had to realize that now at like 40 some years old. Because I know she wouldn't answer her age, but she all of a good 35 and up. Sorry, ma'am. But I mean, it's no diss, but I'm just saying.
We're taught that just sex and
Oh, and for somebody who's talking about they want kids, she way past the geriatric danger zone. I guarantee you that much. At the youngest, I would give her 32. But yeah, 35 and up is a bet.
things that should be preserved. Your gift should be preserved. For a long
Yeah.
time, that was just what the mindset was. It was just go get that degree and then go get that job and that money. It was not, to me, in my household, emphasized as far as the importance of partnership. Even though my parents are still married, most of my aunts and uncles are
Well,
married.
that's what I don't understand. Like, why is it that you know the vast majority of your family is married, which means the vast majority of your family is focused around family, but somehow
And it's so contradictory because, like she said, most of her family is married. How contradictory is that? That you wouldn't, I mean, that you emphasize education, 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 but how the hell else she supposed to bring forth a community without procreation? I don't get it.
that focus was just lost on you and your generation.
Yeah, it's scary. Because I wonder, I partly, and I don't know if I had grown up in Jamaica, would I be different? I think about that. Was it us coming and adopting a more Western American mindset?
And let me just say, as poised as she is and articulate and all that other good stuff, she need therapy just like the rest of us because those issues go deep. That's not normal the way that the way that her family um, instilled in her or overemphasized education. That's just not. That's not. It's not normal because at a time where other cultures do both, her family imprinted on her like a lot of us that it's one or the other.
Said, I don't know
When did you
because
come over?
I was 3 when I came over,
Three.
so
Okay.
I've grown up here.
You're
I'm an
basically
American.
American.
Yeah, I can get very Jamaican with you though. I can I can turn it on when I'm ready, or when I'm
Gotcha.
emotional.
Let
But
me ask you. Let me ask you this.
mhm,
People want to know
mhm.
your personal definition of a good man. Because why is it that you're when? All
May
right.
I jump in? Okay,
Yeah.
wait,
Well,
wait.
let me just ask you that. Listen. Let me preface this by saying any
Mhm,
question that I ask you, you don't have to ask, you don't have to answer, of course, right?
sure.
But it does kind of give context, right,
Mhm.
to where we're at. I'm not going to ask you any crazy questions. But one question I think might be relevant is when how long has it been since your last relationship?
Pre-COVID, so like a couple years ago.
Okay. And how long did that relationship last?
I would say give or take like a year.
A year. Okay. Now, Hank
I don't like the fact that he didn't ask her about the longest relationship she's had. And I also wanted to know was if I was in the chat, I would have asked her, what about the high school sweetheart? Did she date any I mean not high school, college. Did she date anybody in college? That would have been my question.
Hank Tyrone from the 404 High Value Man himself wants to know what, in your opinion, is a good man.
I think I model what I think a good man is after my father. My father is a working class man. He's an electrician by trade. My father is just, I think, very hardworking, dedicated, and he shows his love by doing. There's nothing he wouldn't do to sacrifice. He's a very giving and kind of a sacrificing
I'm
man. I've
sorry.
heard
I'm
what
sorry. This is
happened.
a fucking chat. Sorry
What
about
happened?
that. I'm not laughing at you.
He
I'm
gonna have
sorry.
to pick
Go
one or
ahead.
the other. He doing the
And I
chat
will
and
bring a
trying to
little,
talk
and
to
I
her.
think this is a part of what kind of I hear in some of Kim Samuels. I don't listen to him all the time, but some of the overlay I think of how Black women are approaching dating has a religious overlay. No one is really acknowledging that, I think, as much as they
The question was about what is a good man. Now she started talking about something else.
should, in terms of the discussion, in terms of, who you're trying to choose and your Boaz and all this. I think sometimes we have been maybe, what should I say, misdirected or misguided by the
Mhm.
church.
Wait.
Seeking
It
partnership.
seems like we kind of trail off. Like what? I'm trying to pin you down here.
Oh,
What
yes.
is your definition of a good man?
Hardworking, self-sacrificing, as well as empathetic, compassionate, leader, um, giver, um, not perfect, definitely not perfect, uh, visionary, wants a family, and will be loyal.
Okay. Now you're on the dating scene. You're actively dating. Why do you think it is that it's hard to find a man like that?
I think for where I live in South Florida, kind of like Atlanta, you have a lot of choice. Men here have a lot of choice. I don't know what the current ratios are. I think down here, again, image, just like I was referring to earlier, is very important. You are always going to find a good looking woman here. The ratio here is not like the rest of the country. It's not like the
So let's
Midwest.
back up. So when you
Yeah.
say
Hmm.
choice, what you're saying is that women have a lot of competition.
Absolutely.
My question, he didn't ask her this question either. Why I asked the question, why wouldn't she relocate? Like, you could be an attorney anywhere. And if you're not finding being successful at finding a husband, and I know she in her at the youngest she 32. But but in my heart I'm feeling she's 35 and up. So, ma'am, That's the main reason why it's proven that you are not serious about finding a husband. But go on.
So it's hard for you to find a good man because you are competing with a lot of different women.
One part of it, that's partially yes.
Okay.
In
So,
addition,
go ahead.
I would also add that the men that I necessarily attract, I'm not necessarily always attracted to, but I think sometimes they're missing the components of what I just described as a good man. I think emotionally they're not ready, or just maturity wise in terms of what it's really going to take for two people to, be self-sacrificial and put their desires aside to make this union work.
Okay. So you
Um,
mentioned that maybe they're
mhm,
not as mature as they need to be.
mhm.
What age range are you typically dating these men?
I would say between early to mid 30s to early to mid 40s are where I tend to get the most interest. Young guys, I would say, are like late 20s. I don't think they're mature yet. I
Mhm.
think they're still building.
So the men in the
Mhm,
30s and 40s, they're not
mhm.
mature enough for you yet?
Some of them no. Some of them I don't know if they are trying to figure out how they're going to make money. I think that's a big deal when it comes to starting a family. At least have an idea, or
So if that's the case, you might need to go up in age then, ma'am. You talking about 30 something to 45. And I pretty sure as much as you later on down the line gonna talk about money is not 100% a factor, but you got a better chance of a man at 50 being at his earning potential, his highest earning potential, than you do at 35, 45. Let's continue.
be working towards how to be stable. I think down here you have a lot of what Kevin Samuels. Again, I don't watch him all the time, but I've caught a few episodes. What we call like kind of like that serial entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be their own boss,
Mhm.
and you have a good number of people that are trying to, maybe carve their own path, but they
I'm sorry for stopping this again, but it just like came to me. She not, well, even if she do get married, she's not gonna have time to find out if she can even get pregnant and have a baby. God forbid. She needs to check. I'm hoping that she's checking to see if she can even have children. That's another question that I don't know if she would have answered, but that's a question in of itself because, ma'am, you are either um fastly headed for the danger zone or are already in the danger zone. So you need to be checking on your womb to make sure your eggs is still is not scrambled. And if you do get married, I don't know, I don't know if you're gonna go IVF or plan on adopting, but you don't have that kind of time. I can't see her. She would have to get married within the next couple of years and get pregnant like right away.
are not as stable as one would want if you're considering them for a real, long-term relationship. But yeah, I don't think the standards a lot of times that women have are realistic, but I do think for those of us who are trying to just find a good-hearted person, someone who is loving and wants to be loved in kind of like a deeper way, I think
Mhm.
that's not easy just to stumble upon. I think if you're in college, I think the odds are greater. Y'all, if you are young in college, start looking. I should have been looking when I was there. I think you tend to get, just kind of caught up in life, caught up in your own um, achievement and trying to push, towards that.
Now, see, she's a successful, educated woman who agrees with Kevin Samuels that her eyes would have been greater had she been starting or looking while she was in college.
next goal, make more money, get a better job, climb the corporate ladder. I do think an emphasis for me, I can just speak for me. Like I said earlier on, there was not an emphasis on finding a match. It was just like, get your, self together. Try.
I gotta pause for a second. I, okay, y'all, I'm back. Let's go here.
Try to become the best person that you can become. But I do think, I have friends, probably my friends are like half and half. Found husbands, some found them early, some divorced early, some remarried now, and then others who, found a great what appear to be long-term match. So I know a lot of married Black women. I'm encouraged by it. And again, I don't know. I think it's a mixture of circumstances and different elements as to why people don't necessarily find or have access to, I believe, the type of person or, the good man I think they would want in their lives. But yeah,
Okay, let
not
me ask
searching
you
for a
this.
millionaire. I'm not searching for any of that. Yeah.
Sorry,
When
my
you
ad
are
coming.
Let's be honest. No one has ever said, I love my endless shaving routine, or I just can't.
when you are dating, how do you meet these men that you are dating? Is it through these dating apps?
No, I think I should probably be on them, but no, I'm not. I have a lot of like, because I MC and I host, not now during COVID, but prior to, I meet a lot of people. So I'm on the scene, I'm around people, a lot, different types of people at different types of events. I meet people randomly. That also happens to me, maybe at a bowling alley or something like this. I think, just
Let me
going
let me let me just
out.
ask you though, if you're
Mhm.
if you're really actively dating and looking for a man, why would you not use the dating apps?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I have in the past. I'm not currently on them. I have in the past, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's actually very helpful, and I know people who have married people they've met on those dating sites.
Yeah, so that's what I'm, I guess, trying to ask you, because if it's helpful, why aren't you on them?
I don't
And it's fine if
know.
some people are like, I don't like them, but it seems like you're
I
saying
don't
they're
have any.
helpful, but
Hmm.
then you're not on them.
Yeah, I don't have any rhyme or reason as to like I'm against them or just in this season. I have been focused on trying to like build some couple other things, but I'm not on any actively right now. But I would. I'm not against them.
Charlie asked a really good question that kind of dovetails into what we were just talking about. Says, listen, is marriage a priority for you at this point?
I think yes. I
All right.
think.
Well, let me just push back on that though, because how can you
Mm,
say marriage and it's love, right? So
I know. I
it's
know.
love.
Let me say this before I forget if I haven't said it already. Again, if marriage was a priority, ma'am, you would get your tail back on that dating site, on a higher end dating site if you can't afford to which she said the matchmaker is too costly. Okay, fine. Get your behind on a upper scale dating site and or relocate. Because if you don't have strong ties to Miami, um, that are really holding you there, then what is the purpose of being there? That's I would like to know. I wish I could ask that question. Because if it's so hard in Miami, ma'am, it's a simple, you know, um, airplane ticket on to the next city, flourishing black city, and I think there's like 10 or 11 of them. Pick one. How about that?
But how can you say that marriage is a priority for you when to get married you need to meet someone,
Absolutely.
and to meet someone, a great way to do that is through the dating apps, and you're not on the dating apps,
Well,
which you say that are beneficial.
yeah, I agree with you. I think I have been relying a lot on matchmaking among friends and family. I have not been successful yet with any of those, but have been introduced to some really nice people. Some live too far. We're like in different states. But I agree with you. I probably should get on it like ASAP to make sure I'm not missing out on an eligible pool. I do agree with you. I think it is important. It's been kind of COVID-y and very like this season. I've kind of just been shifting, figuring out what I want to do, and some other projects have taken my attention. But I do agree with you. I
What
should
does
absolutely
COVID
be.
mean?
COVID means just reassessing and seeing what's important, seeing who. I think a lot of us went back and just looked at our past relationships or look at our current friendships and just kind of taking a step back. So I wasn't really like out there. Obviously, 2020 wasn't really much out there, to be had. But yeah, I was kind of like just reassessing, self-evaluating, life. And in doing so, I'm just looking at life, I guess more intentionally. But yes, one of the parts of life that I just been thinking about that, partnership for women particularly is very beneficial. And I don't
Yeah,
think
and
I've
see
been
that's the thing,
sold
and
that before.
right. And I want to shout out my man Ant26 says, "Hey TLA."
I just yeah, somebody made a comment in the comment section. This whole partnership thing is called a marriage, ma'am. And that's a huge problem in our community is that we can't even get the word out. It's such a shame and it's sad. It's called a marriage. And I'm the same. I'm not healed by any means. I'm pointing out what's in her that's in me as well. I'm talking to me as I'm talking to her. But the difference between me and her is that if and when I was to start dating, I'm definitely at this point not afraid of marriage any longer. So let's continue.
And see, this is the thing, right? Shout out to Ant26. He's always supporting your boy too, man. Thank you so much, Ant. Says, hey TLA, listen, let's just get right to it. All right. For Suzette, question. Are you putting in the same effort to become a wife as you did for your career? If no, why should you get the outcome that you desire? And let me
Mm,
say this. I think this is a perfect question. He's asking it in a much more straightforward way that I'm kind of asking it. But it's like, listen, if you're saying that being a wife is a priority and
mhm.
you are saying that the dating apps, is a great way to meet people, but you're not on them, why should you expect to get any outcome? If you're putting this effort into, you mentioned your other projects that you're having
Mhm.
right now. I would imagine you're putting effort into those projects, but you're not. Are you putting the same effort in becoming a wife? Because you say, oh yeah, that is a good idea. Maybe I should do this. Or that is a good idea. Maybe I should do that. But it kind of seems like there's not a lot of effort being
Um,
put forth to it.
I definitely understand your point, and I definitely gather the crux of the question, which is effort in your eyes. I'm asking would mean getting on the apps, constantly looking for a man. Is that what effort? I'm asking.
Effort means making yourself available to the large.
And when it comes to, I know that COVID was a thing, of course. But uh, let's see, what is this? November? You figure in the past, what, since the summer, early January, February, March, anywhere from April on up to now, I think we I don't know where I'm at. We've been pretty open. I know somebody in the comment section mentioned going to the gym. I would have liked to have that question answered. Does she go to the gym and how often? Um, Going to the gym as far as a place to meet somebody. The suggestion of going out by yourself. Um, and I don't know. So yeah, those couple of things, going out by yourself, dropping the scarf, sitting at the bar or at the table alone, not on your phone, maybe with a book or something like that. Uh so I don't know. She claims to be doing certain things, but only she knows the effort that she really putting in. So anyway.
Largest pool, reasonably largest pool that you can, so that you can meet. So, all right, here's the issues: is that when you listed your list of a good man, every element that you listed combined with the others, it means that the pooler got smaller and smaller and smaller. If you just say that you want somebody compassionate, fine, it's here. But then you want somebody that's hardworking, and you want somebody that's caring, right? You want somebody that's dedicated, right? And then I don't know, maybe you want somebody that's black. And you mentioned that there's competition, right? So it goes smaller and smaller and smaller. So now you're left with this little pool. And so for this pool that you have to get into to make yourself available, you have dating apps which can inject you into this pool. You're like, no, that's a good idea.
No, I don't mean it with that nonchalantness. I don't mean it with that at all. I told you I've used it before.
Right, but you also said that
take it. Yeah.
Yeah, you said that you met some of your friends are married because of the apps. And so this is what Ant is saying. He's like, listen, if some of your friends are married because of the apps,
get on it.
You know the apps. Yeah. Well, so it's interesting that people have to tell you to get on the apps, but people don't have to tell you to do your projects.
Right.
People don't have to tell you to go to court. People don't have to tell you to go into the office.
Yeah.
Like, you're on point when it goes to going into your office. You're on point when it goes to going to court. But when it's to come to find a husband, it's, oh yeah, you're right. The apps. Do you see where people are coming from?
No, I totally agree. I don't feel that maybe my effort in how you're stating it right now, I maybe am not even aware that, because I go on dates and I see people. So I don't feel like I'm in this island of like nobodiness. I don't feel that way. But you're saying makes a lot of sense. What you're saying is make yourself more available. So I totally agree with that. So no, every effort is not being made to go out there and meet the most, the widest, or be available to the widest audience of type of men I'm looking for. I hear your points loud and clear. I don't know. And if you're asking me why not, like I said, I don't know if I have a good enough reason, so to speak.
Fair enough.
But I respect it. I understand what you're saying, but I know I'm not alone, probably thinking the way I'm thinking, but I don't know if it's actually going to give me the outcome as you're stating that I want, which is the actual, realization of a good relationship and a good partnership with somebody. So I will be thinking about how to make that more of a priority beyond some of the other things that are on my plate right now. But I hear you loud and clear.
And that's the thing that kind of interests men, because you see women call into Kevin Samuels, and you see women that go to April Mason for help, and men genuinely, we really can't gauge y'all's motivation or intent to get married, because all women say they want to get married, but fat people say they want to be skinny, and they'll still eat the cupcakes. So a lot of times men are like, you say you want to get married, but do you really want to get married? Right? Do you really want to get married? And when men pick up on this, when men see easy opportunities for women to, get options and they don't, like, you're not even this. But that's kind of how men see it. But your point is well taken as well, right?
Yeah, Abel is great. I got a little issue with this statement, because there was
I wanted to ask you about this.
Yeah, so much said about this.
Yeah. So what is your opinion on what okay. So Abe is great says, is this the type of woman that April Mason is talking about? And now no woman is ever going to cop to this. All right, let's put that out there right now. Abe, no woman is going to say
offended,
yes.
Abe, you hurt my feelings. I'm offended, because if you knew me as a person, this is not even close to who I am. And I don't feel like I even have to defend it to you because I don't know you, but I'm glad you asked that, because I think it's easy to try to box every Black woman into like the same category.
Well, and to be fair, he's not saying that. It's a question he's asking. Yeah. Because, listen, let's back up for a second.
Yeah.
Let's back up for a second. I mean, Abe doesn't know you. You're exactly right, and you don't know Abe, and he's asking. But what Abe is on the live stream where an expert, a black woman, a woman who is an expert in black women, is saying that so many black women feel this way. And so Abe, I don't think it's an out of bounds question to say, hey, you came on the chat and you said you're a black woman. There is a woman who is an expert that says so many black women feel this way.
Or
I don't
are
think
this way. Are this way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's an out of bounds question for him to say, hey, are you one of these women? I don't think you should be offended by that, because I think it's a fair question.
Yes, sir.
Wait, before you scroll away, you need to hear this. Republicans across the country are moving fast to enact.
I'm not offended.
I thought you said you were offended.
I was a bit offended. Sorry, I was a bit offended. But what I'm
saying, so are you offended or not? Listen, we're gonna cross-examine the cross-examiner, right?
I am a bit offended because when I hear what Miss April has outlined as her depiction of black women, there has to be some truth to it, or she wouldn't have experienced this for 10 years. I agree that there are folks that have this kind of MO. I know that in my circles and in my friend group, again, unless we are completely non-self-aware, I don't necessarily see all of those same attributes in the women I, are in my circle or surround myself with. I don't see that. Now, are there a lot of fake people in general, white and black and whoever? We're talking about black people, black women here, but yes. You're going to find, I'm living in South Florida. Miami is full of the fakery. Like, yes, that's a problem. You can't expect a real man when you, positioning yourself or presenting yourself to be, something that you're not, or, that is built, so to speak. I do agree with some of the points, but in my experience and how I think and my friends think, that is far from, and again, I might be in the minority. I might be, not who she's typically dealt with. But no, I don't think, I feel like that's a bad assumption that all, in the chat before I came up, I kept thinking all, she gonna say all black.
She didn't say all. She didn't say all.
But that was my issue with what he just said. I'm just like, no, I don't think we allow.
With what? Who said?
Mr. Abel.
He just asked if you are one of the types of women. He wasn't saying all.
No, I don't think he said all. What I'm saying is, my question to the chat was with regards to like us pinning every black woman in the same box. So he was asking me if I feel like I fit in that box. So I guess I'm just making everybody, just weary of painting everyone with one brush. Yes, maybe majority of her clients or majority of people in Atlanta. I wonder if she works with people around the country. There were a couple of things that I was thinking about when I was reading it. I'm like, dang, who is she dealing with? So that's what it made me feel some type of way, because I read it and I will, maybe sound a little bit, somewhat defensive, because I'm like, who is she talking to? Wow, that is not necessarily the case for who I know. But there has to be some truth to it. I agree with her. I've met women like that for sure.
Well, that's the thing, though. If you say that there's some truth to it, then why do you feel feel defensive?
No, I'm just saying, just be careful not to paint everyone with one brush. That's all I'm saying.
People make this argument, Suzette, but you know that this woman is not painting. Pull it up. You know that this woman is not painting every single woman with the same brush, right? She never said that in her thing. She said the majority. She said the majority of women that come to her, so women who seek her out, and the majority, right? But she didn't say all. This is the very first sentence when she starts saying on the women. So when people say, "Oh, well, don't paint everybody with the same brush," it kind of seems like a deflection because no one said that in the beginning, right? But your point is well taken. Let me jump into Millennial Mark TV. What does he say? Thank you again so much, Millennial Mark. Says, mature in what way? I hear women say this on many platforms, but I've never heard what they specifically need. Maybe I'm just an anomaly. You are. You are an anomaly, Millennial Mark TV. But I know many late 20s, early 30s men on their purpose, and sadly, they'll get looked over. This is so true. This is so true. What is Clout Chasing? Shout out to Clout Chase. We can see you in a while. Thank you so much. Clout Chasing says, she makes enough money, so a husband is not a priority.
No,
let me ask you. Go ahead. What do you think about
go
this?
ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm interrupting you. You go ahead.
I really finished. Yeah, I was just reading the super chat. What do you think about this statement?
I disagree with that. Why? I think, as I was kind of trying to paint the picture before, there are many of us who are,
Let me just, I don't want to interrupt you, but let me just say this before you answer. All right.
Yes.
Because he's saying she makes enough money, so a husband is not a priority. And you're saying that that's not true. And fair enough. And you can talk a little bit about the first part about the money. But if you're going to argue the fact that you disagree that you're saying a husband is your priority, when you do go to
you're
the
gonna go back to
office every
yes.
day,
I
when
hear
you do go to court,
I hear
it's hard for you to argue now that making, you finding a husband is a priority when you're not using avenues that work. You have friends that have used those avenues that work and you decide not to use them.
And
So it's
shit.
hard
in this season, but yes, sir.
in this
I get your
season.
point.
All
I
right,
get your
whatever
point.
that means.
No.
But I
You're
got you.
getting
I
that
got
home
you.
run. I
I'm
hear you.
I
like,
got
look,
you. I
I
got
keep
you.
You're
on
like
Because I don't
flirting.
understand. I
Not
don't understand using the
keep on
season. Like
asking.
you still go
I'm
to
gonna
the.
be
You still
vigilant about,
go on
honey.
dates. So
I do.
what? So I mean, are you? What does season have to do with it? If you're still going on dates, if you're still meeting up people at the bowling alley and the grocery stores, and you'll go on dates with them, what does the season now have to do with the dating apps?
No, I hear you, and I think I might have to just jump on them.
No,
So I
I
hear
want to
you.
know what the season has to do with it.
No, I think just
This
in
is how you
my
cross-examine people. When
no,
they
he's
say,
pinning me down, y'all.
I'm just teasing.
This is textbook, and I
I'm
love
just
it
teasing.
because the point you're making, I 100% agree with. Clearly, there are other avenues that I'm not taking advantage of, and clearly I should be. But as far as making enough money, I don't think you understand the I don't know, the desire of one's heart to be with someone in a healthy, just fun, and stable, which I say
AJ.
partnership. Like the money for me, that has nothing to do with it. I'm just like, if you could read my heart and my heart's desire, that's
The money has nothing to do with it, girl. You better stop the cap. I mean, she's beautiful, she's pretty, she's articulate, but stop the cap. What are we talking about here? The money ain't got nothing to. Girl, shut up.
far from the truth for me. But yes, I have to go to work. Yes, I don't have anybody else necessarily to kind of, go, lean on each other. So I have to break bread. That's a part of kind of like the catch 22 of being a single woman. You have to still do what you have to do. There is no, body to back you up, if you will. But I don't think of it that way for me personally. I don't know what other women think, but oh, I make enough money because no, I think there's so many more advantages to a partnership, a healthy partnership that I would want that what I make, and yes, I'm holding it down.
She's still not saying marriage. She's still calling it a partnership. It's not always going to be a partnership, ma'am. A partnership insinuates 50-50. And the lead attorney, he didn't, I know he probably, could go back and say he could have asked X, Y, and Z. And this just came to me anyway. But I've heard from married people that, sometimes it's 40-60, 30-70. It's not a partnership all the time, ma'am. He may lose. What if he loses his job? What if he God forbid becomes a paraplegic, a quadriplegic? It's not 50-50. It's not a partnership. It's a marriage, ma'am. A marriage. For better or worse, richer or poor. She's pissing me off right now. She's pissing me off.
But what I make is not. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And matter of fact, let me type this in here real quick so this lady can see this, because that's a good ass point I just made. Cause I can't remember who said that. I want to say no. I was gonna say Claire Huxtable, but I don't think it was her. Okay, let's continue.
And I would date people that make less than me. I don't think people believe that, but I would. If the spirit is right, that the mindset is right, the maturity is right, I don't look at that. And I have several friends actually that make more than their husbands. I was really afraid. I'm telling you, when I saw what the chat was
No, I know the chat has been
listening
wild, right? Shout out to the chat, but no, we're not. Suzette, you know me. Like you don't know me, but you've seen enough of my videos to know that I'm super respectful. But I do call out stuff, right? I mean, but for on both sides, on both sides. Shout out to Kevin. Kevin says, tough question for Suzette. Would you give up, sacrifice your career to be a stay-at-home wife to a good man per your definition? And let me ask you, I don't know if I've asked this before, but you might have said, do you have children?
I don't.
Would you like children?
I would.
Okay. So would you give up your career to be a stay-at-home wife for a good man?
Right now, today. Right now, today.
Interesting. All right.
They don't.
Ma'am, girl, you already know it's gonna be stipulations. He better be making six figures or more. And she might stay home for low six figures, but she ain't staying home for less than that. So who the girl? I know you fucking lying. I want to read some of these comments because we was having good old conversation. This was a really great discussion that was going on in the comment section. So let's read up on what the people got to say. So according to Joe Blow, she is 41 years old, and somebody asked him further on down in the chat where he found that out. Apparently he Googled her. She looks good for 41, but shit, that mean her egg's 41 too, bitch. So you already in that high risk pregnancy. Um, Cotel KJ, whoever, whatever. He says, I wonder if she would date someone making 35,000 a year. Absolutely not. Shit, I wouldn't make date somebody. I don't know. Let me stop. You talking about me? Um. So, Sure Lucas says she sounds like she wants to believe she is open to whatever, but she really isn't. I replied on this one because I was really into this discussion. I said, right, Cheryl. Most of us see right through her. She seems sweet though. And Sherry Watts apparently agreed with the flame signal symbols. Uh TLA, this Thomas Robinson said, TLA, the issue I see with Suzette is that she's looking for a partnership which many men aren't looking for or have understanding of their definition of partnership. Exactly. Um KMS said, I wish I spent more time at work. Phrases you'll never see on a tombstone. I know that's right. Dean says she will never marry a guy like her father, too strong to settle with anyone. Now, she claims that, money is not a huge factor or so on and so forth. She didn't really elaborate that deep into that question, I don't think. But because she never said an amount of what, she was willing to the lowest and the highest. I don't think she ever said that amount. So, but hmm, okay. Emmanuel says Suzette kept bringing up Kevin Samuels because she knows that Kevin will have no problem asking her about height, weight, and dress size, and she didn't want TLA to do that. Exactly. So I replied, these women think that they can get past it. Good luck. After I had my son, my mother warned me, you need to lose some weight, girl. Shame, shame, shame that this is so taboo to black women. My mother's gym was the TV with 5 channels back in the 80s, and she worked out for her man, honey. I'll never forget growing up, the white girls that would come on the exercise channel, and you would have your slow, medium, and fast. And my mother would be in front of that TV working it out, baby, working it out for her man, honey, keeping it tight. So, but she don't want to hear that. She been hurried up and ran off the line for them questions. Oh, okay. So this boss black chick says no one asks men those questions. Of course, you gotta have a woman that's saying something like this, something stupid like this. Absolutely no one. And trust me, women are visual creatures too. We don't want short, fat, dumpy men either. First of all, ma'am, you can't compare a high value woman to a high value man. The high value man has more options, ma'am. Um, I use Kevin Hart for example. He was a divorced man with 2 children. He met and married another beautiful black woman, just as beautiful as Tori, because Tori is very pretty, just as beautiful as Tori, with no children. Tori, on the other hand, is still single. And I don't care if she has a boyfriend, single, not married. Kevin Hart is remarried with another woman that's just as beautiful and has 2 more children. Now let Nico ask divorced Kevin and see how fast Kevin Hart with now 4 children will be able to move on before Nico. See, that's what y'all bras ain't comprehending. He can have 4 whole kids with 2 ex-wives and he will still be able to get another single woman with no children who will be just as pretty, if not prettier, than Aniko. And even if she is a gold digger, it will be rightfully so because women are hypergamous by nature. So she has every right to look for a man to secure if she has a womb to give him children and she's young, tight, and fit and fine, she has every right to secure a man with money, honey. So, I said all that to say because I didn't say that, but my reply was, ma'am, that's the difference, sis. LOL. Fat chubby men don't go on Kevin Samuel's show talking about they want Halle Berry, and he warned men that they're stupid if they think they got a chance for 1 second. Fat women, time and again, go on Kevin Samuel's show talking about they deserve Will Smith. It's delusion versus reality, girl. Please, many men already know what time it is. And then T Compound says, response to her, Boss Black says, money is a great equalizer when it comes to men. Look at Fat Joe, DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, Seth Rogen. Compared to Lizzo or Jill Scott, I don't see any man lining up to hit that. I didn't even know what he was going to say. I didn't read that. Get this first. Keyshawn Turner said her definition of a good man sounds like a strong, independent woman. And I said, funny, I just said that about another chick. I was talking about Soncerae. These women need lesbians. Ah, somebody get her Queen Latifah or Jada. um, let's see. What's some more good ones in here? I gotta sift through. Uh, this another one about apparently from somebody who lives or is very familiar with Miami-Dade County. Um, Oh, and the fact that she couldn't answer the question about how many dates before sex, Girl, you capping because you know you an attorney and you probably work for a firm, whatever. By the third day, I'm giving I'm giving up the draws, ma'am. I'm giving up the draws. Like Tommy used to say in Martin, I got the draws, man. I mean, unless it's got something to do with your Christianity and both y'all on the same path, honey, he getting these draws. um, Marcus Moore said a relationship isn't her priority. She is articulate at saying nothing. I don't know why I'm laughing. Dark Mage says, this is the last one I'm gonna read for now. She's a living example of what Kevin Samuels talks about. Physically attractive with unrealistic expectations. She makes enough so she can afford to be picky. The sex toy in her career are her men. I don't think she goes to the gym or she would have met someone already. Not just that, but you know, of course the lead attorney certainly couldn't ask her is she the most fit that she could be, in order to find a high value man. I don't know why these women think that you could just be any old size and think that a high value man is going to accept you as is. She a little chubby in the face. I don't know how tall she is. Of course, you wouldn't tell, but you could look at her face that she's a little chubby, which I mean, it could very well be all good and it's all proportion and everything else like that. But ma'am, you need to be on a routine of working out because again, it bears repeating that you thick-headed black women are not understanding at times that once you start popping out those children, you are going to put on 30 to 50 pounds. So unless you already in the routine, not to say you won't slack off after you have a baby, some women don't bounce back right away, so on and so forth. But if you got a high value man, bitch, and you want to keep him, your ass better be in line at the gym membership, um, working out. I don't give a damn what you talking about. It's got to become a lifestyle because, again, once you start popping out them kids, you're going to have to bounce back. Some men will accept you as is, and some men, they accept you, they are too afraid to say something. They don't want to hurt your feelings, but that may be some of the reason why they cheat, ma'am, because your body ain't tight. And I'm not saying that it's acceptable, but it's also not acceptable that you let yourself go at the same time. Because what if he fit and he's in good shape like how you met him, he's still well preserved. And don't get me wrong, it takes a lot to be a mom and try to maintain, but it's a lot of women that do it. My mother did it. Hello, my mother did it. Um, and she didn't go to no damn gym. So fuck that. Ain't no excuse. I take it back. Because my mother did it. She didn't have no gym. She didn't have no personal trainer. You know? My dad wasn't even a high value man. He worked at Pepsi Cola, which is respectable. He was what do you call him? I forgot what his title was, but he was also a shit. I forgot what you call him. I forgot what he said. He worked at Pepsi Cola for over 20 some years. Anywho, and my mom had 2 kids. Okay, she was raising the children. She was cooking the meals. She was working it out, baby, and she was laying it down in the bed. And she had a little part-time job. So don't you fucking tell me that it can't be done. Just because women choose to sit on their ass at home and they man, they finally get comfortable with your weight and they don't say nothing about it, that's on them. But if you dealing with a man that has options, girl, you better be careful. That's all I got to say. Oh, so back to what he was saying. She is an example of an older woman who is successful. However, us men don't care about that. Again, a man that is a high earner, you're what a woman deems, that she thinks is her success doesn't matter to a man. He's looking at you physically. He's a man. He wants your body. He wants your mind. He wants all of that. But let me finish reading it. She is a big girl who wears a tie. She ain't that big. I mean, she ain't skinny, but he says she's a big girl. I'm just gonna read what he said. She's a big girl who wears a ton of makeup, and she probably thinks her worth to men is based on her success. Her worth to men is based upon success. So, right there again, he's telling you you can have 15 degrees. If a high value man meets a woman younger than you, more attractive than you, then that's what he's going to go for. And she may only have 1 degree. And she's cooperative, pleasant, da 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 da. Let me finish reading this comment. However, her results of being single and probably 40 with no kids or a husband proves Kevin right. She's not being chosen for marriage because we don't see her worth like she does. And her pickiness will only result in her being a lone Catwoman. Again, women are not understanding that what we think as women, our worth that we feel like we have as women, does not compare to what men value. They value fit, friendly, and what was the other one? Fit, friendly, and cooperative. Um, so let's see here. Beth North said, unfortunately in Miami, she is a good 5. Richmond down here have tons of options, 8, 9, and 10. And again, she's not obese, but she's not fit. Her face is too full. She ain't fat and sloppy, but her face is too full, so she's not as thin and fit as she could be, you know, for the man that she feels like is worthy of her. Papa Nabri says the issue is her fitness. She needs to hit the gym 4 to 5 times a week, or 4 times a week. Take off the weave and lower her expectations. I mean, she got a few tracks in her hair. I seen the thumbnail with her short hair, and she's still just as cute. I will say, my aunt to me wore a lot of makeup. That she didn't need. Some women, when she takes all that off, her skin still looks pretty firm underneath all that makeup. She doesn't appear, I don't know, maybe she hiding a bunch of blemishes. But my aunt was Beyonce level pretty, and she still wore more makeup than, now thinking back, she wore a lot of makeup. The rouge, the lipstick, eyeliner, and all that shit. And I know she didn't need it. So, but she didn't have all that foundation shit though. We didn't they didn't do all the foundation back in the day. It was more the rouge that makes your cheeks look rosy and shit. So, but she got all that foundation shit on, and she need to cut down on that. I don't wear makeup at all. And I've been told I had nice skin. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't, you know, I'm not saying I'm gorgeous or beautiful, pretty or nothing. I'm just saying I've been told I had nice skin. Boss Black says, what makes you think she goes to the gym to do anything other than work out? She isn't looking for a man. That's the impression I got. What the hell? What you listening to? She clearly on here because she looking for a man. What? And if you just so happen to go to the gym, that's another way of making yourself available. Yeah, you going there to work out, but bitch, I go to the gym and work out too, but I still keep my eyes open. I still see what's out there, and you know, if I feel like I need to toot my butt up a little bit in the air, um, or brush past a man and drop something, bitch, I'ma do it. At the gym or not. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Go back. Let's finish it off.
Don't know me,
Listen,
TLA. I
that was
have to do what I have to
definitive.
do. Tomorrow.
You say you have to do what you have to do, but you're not even on dating apps, which other people have found husbands from. Guys, listen, like
I got the point.
I can hear it.
I can hear it. I got your point, TLA. I got your point. I want to be at home doing my YouTube videos. What you talking about?
I love that, but then just say that the YouTube videos are the priority. I just want everything to line up. I just want, listen, whatever you dedicate time to is the priority in the moment.
And we'll grow 100%.
Wow.
And thank you for bringing this to light to me.
No problem.
I hear you white and clear.
Shout out. I would not keep bringing up this point, but you keep opening the door.
No, that's is that what it is? I was like, I got it the first time.
No, exactly. You keep opening up the.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I just want to read this real quick. Someone said, this was the most funniest conversation. Lee was hitting her with a comeback, speaking from a woman's perspective. One of the things that she said that men were intimidated by her, why would men be intimidated by her, is because her profession as a lawyer means she's aggressive, which equals masculine energy. Exactly. Speak on it, Annie says, I didn't pick up aggressiveness at all. No, she puts on, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is probably her real personality. But she said that men were intimidated by her. But the fact that you think that, why would a man be intimidated by you? Is the point that Smokum is making. Because you're an attorney and people assume you make six figures. And hey, and the fact that you're an attorney, shit, you in the courtroom arguing all day. So that is kind of masculine shit. Most men come, back in the day were attorneys. Obviously not to say a woman couldn't be one, but to me, now that I think about it, it could be considered a masculine field. It may sound a little sexist, but yeah, Smokum says, is it because her profession as a lawyer means she's aggressive? She has to be aggressive, which equals masculine energy. But the person speak on it, Annie's saying I didn't pick up aggressiveness at all. Granted, now she's not presenting that because she's in an interview. She's being cordial to her friend, having a friendly conversation. Overall, she seems very nice, sweet. Um, but the fact that she even mentioned that is just like a turnoff because intimidated for what? It's men out here that make, decent money that you know, that don't want to compete with you, ma'am. They make good money. They comfortable in their skin. Ain't nobody talk you. You might be talking about some old 30-year-old, 30-something-year-old that don't have his shit together. But if you talking about a man like the lead attorney, you know, or any other high value man, being that that's what you want to deal with, it seems there's nothing to be intimidated by. Let's see. It's another. Oh, Wilson added to the conversation very cynical, self-centered conclusion women come to when they can't land a man. It is based off nothing tangible. It speaks volumes to her inexperience with men in an intimate way. I agree with
The
that.
door. You keep saying, "Oh, I'll do anything right now," and so then you open up the door to when I say any. Do you see what I'm saying?
No,
I'm not just bringing it up to bring it up.
No. I take it in a positive way. I'm
Right,
not offended.
but I just want you to know
I'm
I'm
very,
not bringing it up
animated.
to bring it
People
up.
have commented on my face being very animated.
I'm just bringing it up when you open the door and say, "Oh, I'll do anything." That's when you open the door. Then I gotta walk through it, right? Shout out to Drummer Boy 1980 says this is an open and shut case. Says the guys she attracts doesn't want. The guys she attracts, she doesn't want them. The guys she wants doesn't want her. Water seeks its own level. Let's not complicate things. Do you think this statement is true though? That the guys that want you, you don't want, and the guys that you want don't want you. And to be honest, you're single.
So.
Okay. No. You're. What do you think the issue has been then? Because you've been actively dating. Have you not liked any of the guys that you've been actively dating?
I mean, sometimes things don't work out. I think sometimes you're just in a different place from someone else. I don't think it's something quote wrong, but if I saw potential for a husband, then yeah, I would be down with whatever. But yeah, different aspects of just their financial stability and things like this. I'm like, okay. You got to have some kind of foundation to work with is my big thing. I don't think you have to have it all figured out. I don't think your bank account has to have a certain amount of zeros. I don't think any of that. But as far as guys not wanting, the guys I want don't want me, I don't know if that is 100% true. And me not wanting guys, I think it's a matter of just compatibility and fit. I don't think it's necessarily like total discounting of a whole cross section of men just because. I don't think, I don't know. I don't agree with this, but okay. I hear what he's saying. I think again, in his experience, maybe that's what he's seeing and that's what he knows of the Black women he knows, but I can only speak from my experience. No, I think the guys that I dated are nice people. I don't know if they had all the elements or not even most. I won't even say all, most of the elements I think it would take for a successful, long-term partnership, but that doesn't mean I'm seeking out unattainable. I've seen this a lot when
I just want to know, has she dated anybody longer than a year? Because he only asked her about one relationship. Does she have any experience besides work? Any relationship experience besides that 1 year relationship? I mean, that is a big deal, in my opinion, and at her age.
I think, Black women are trying to get, I can only speak for myself, some unattainable, perfection of Idris. I just need you to hold your job down. I just need you to have good manners.
Guys, does anybody believe this? Oh, I just need you to hold your job down. Oh my God.
If you meet some of the hustlers and the personal trainers today, and then tomorrow they're doing Forex, and then tomorrow they're doing this, and these are supposed to be the eligible, categories of men. It's crazy. And
It
then
just
some of the
drives
ones,
it drives guys crazy to no end when a woman says, just like you, who's a beautiful woman, oh, I just need you to hold your job. Like
no,
a
listen,
man
and
with $50,000 can hold the same job for 15 years and you will look over him.
no, I will not.
Yes,
This
you
is what I'm
will.
saying. That's an assumption. See, like I have
Lies.
one of the guys that I talked to before,
So you better believe this.
pandemic. He made way more money than me, good money. But when the statement was made, not everybody who makes good money is a high value man. I'm talking about in terms of their leadership and their spirit.
Objection,
It's
relevance.
not
We're talking
that,
about men
because
that made less.
I've seen both sides.
Listen, I presented to you a situation where the man makes 50,000. Your response was to talk about a man that made way more than you. Your response was not relevant to what I said. I was talking about a man who made $50,000 a year and had been on his job for 15 years. Because you said, oh, he just needs to be able to hold down a job.
Yes.
You and your response to
Yeah,
that man,
question. Does he have
wait,
kids?
wait. Your response to that man who made 50,000 was to talk to me about a man that you were thinking about dating or dated that made way more than you. Do you
Yeah.
realize that you talked about the opposite situation that
No,
I'm talking
I
about?
hear you, counselor, and I guess I was trying to make a juxtaposition, but you want me to just address the lower
I
salary?
mean, just
I would date a
you could just
person with
address what we're talking about, right?
no.
Because
I
we're
would
talking about
date.
a guy that makes 50,000, and you
There's
talked about a
nothing
guy
wrong
that
with a
makes
guy
like
that makes
500,000.
50,000. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't
She
think
is
that
not
anything
dating
is
no
wrong with
man
that.
that makes
I
Got you.
50,000.
I don't
Girl,
know. I
stop
think
it.
there are people who just are not compatible. Like I think sometimes.
Guys, listen. It's not the fact that you make $50,000 that's the issue. It's just the fact that we're kind of not
No,
compatible,
don't say
right?
it like
Oh,
that.
are you
That's not what I
hearing this? It's all women always go to the compatibility, but what does it
No,
mean? It means you make 50
no.
grand a year. I'm just
Your
teasing you. I'm just teasing
mindset, how you think, how you respond
I'm
to
just
issues, how you deal with pressure.
Ma'am, let me just say. Let me just say this. I think she's already said that she has girlfriends who make significantly more than their men, their husbands. So I'm hoping that for her sake that she would consider somebody that, may not make that may make, I don't know, significantly less. I don't know if that's fair to say, but baby girl, let me tell you something right now. My sister is a doctor and her husband is a retired Marine. Um, she met him, well, she already knew him. They had they had a past when they were younger in high school. And she got with him at 30 while she was in the process of finishing up med school and entering her residency. So, and she had my niece on top of that. She got pregnant, had a whole baby on top of that, ma'am. Um, and 16 years later, like the whatever that couple on Living Color, they still together. Um, and he still make, I'm pretty sure, significantly less than, I know for a fact he makes significantly less than her. So, ma'am, you better be ready to put your money where your mouth is because, my brother-in-law is not to be played with. He will not, when you come home from work, you better take off that boss cap and, act like because you ain't about to run over him. He don't give a damn. It don't matter how much you make. And my sister's not the type of woman that would mistreat him like that anyway, or make him feel less than of a man. So, honey, that's probably what's gonna end up happening. She Yeah, girl, she just all cap. All cap.
There's certain things that you see in a man's personality when you go on dates with him, and you're seeing like, oh my god.
And not to, I am so, and let me tell you why else this is cap. Because yo, damn face, I can't help it. I'm gonna tell you why else this is cap. Because her married friends, her married friends, who she said clearly make more than their husband. Bitch, why ain't you telling these? Well, she claimed, she wait around for her friends and family to hook her up. But ma'am, out of all these men, you going to from one cookout to the next, bitch, and you can't meet a man making $60,000-$70,000 a year. If that's what you was, if you was really okay with that, you know how many family functions or outings, barbecues I done been to, and it's single men there, or I mean, hell, as much as people she know and claim she cause she a MC and she here and there and everywhere, girl, the lies you
I'm not trying to live. I don't have to live with you. So if I see this behavior,
All right, listen, wait, let me jump in. Let me jump in. All right, guys. I know I've missed a lot of super chats. Let me pick them up right quick. Let me pick them up. Shout out to wait, give me 1 second. Shout out to Senator 1021 says, "Do you know what?" Okay, this is a question. Do you know what men want from a woman? We heard about your expectations, but do you possess the qualities that men want? What do you think men want in women? This is a good question.
I think men want someone who is
How am I missing these super chats?
easygoing. Sorry, yeah.
I'm just missing these super chats and it's pissing me off. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. The chat is going pretty quick.
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Pretty much like the opposite of Miss Mason's list. Like, I don't believe men want anybody who is going to be very difficult, very combative. Focused on herself, very selfish. I think they want someone who is, I'm assuming, going to support what they are doing, support their dreams.
Let me just stop right here. Shout out to Ant26. I'm sorry I missed this, Ant. It flew by. Said it's $100 super chat, so thank you so much. Says call her out, TLA. Play the tape back. She said the guy she was dating didn't have it figured out. 20 minutes later, she switched it up, saying that they didn't need to have it all figured out. Right? It's hard to pin women down. Right? Thank you so much, Ant26. Shout out to Majestic. Shout out to Rodney. Rodney says, could it be she is not prioritizing dating because the man she really wants isn't interested or available? What do you think about that?
I don't. For me personally, I don't have anybody in mind. Like in my sphere that I'm pursuing or I wish I could have or anything like that. So for me personally, I don't think that's me. No.
Got you. Ant26 again. Thank you so much. Ant, it's crazy. I'm sorry I missed that last one. Thank you so much, Ant26, for always supporting your boy. Really appreciate it, Ant. Thank you. Says give me 1 second. It sounds like Suzette is doing what's convenient in regards to a relationship. A man isn't a priority. Why should a man come second to your career? This is interesting. Is that fair to the man that meets all of your requirements to ultimately come second in your life? What do you think about this? I can read it again.
I think a man should come second to your priorities. That is like the opposite of what I think. I know I have bills to pay. I know I have to sustain myself and some others, my family. So I do what I need to do. So I think it's almost like you get caught in, especially as you get more mature, this cycle of like, okay, I have to earn money. There's no one that's working with me in partnership to keep a household. So I have to do that myself. Do I desire to do that? Would that be ideal? Not necessarily, but I don't think it's necessarily a prioritizing over. I don't think that. That's not, I don't want you guys to put words in my mouth that I'm prioritizing a career over. I think that's like the stereotype. That's like the Tyler Perry trope. That's like, I personally don't feel that. I think,
Gotcha.
especially in just
Let me
my
jump in.
self-awareness, partnership is important. So I don't think that at all.
Gotcha. Let me shout out to
don't treat no witness hostile. Y'all already doing me dirty. I can't even read the chat. I gotta read the chat.
Ain't it messed up? And they're like, oh, get Suzette up. Get Suzette up. And then you come up and that the chat will set you up, guys. They'll be like, oh, the chat loves me. They want me to come up. And then bam.
I said, not figured out, meaning most of his stuff was not figured out. But you don't have to have it all.
Okay. Listen. Shout out to the steel curtain, man. Listen, shout out to the steel curtain. Steel curtain says, time is a fleeting moment. Therefore, there's no time like the present. Facts. Steel curtain asks, has Suzette thought about using a matchmaker? This is interesting. She can't even use dating apps. Have you thought about using? I didn't mean to. That slipped out. That
was in your mind, sir.
I was like a matchmaker. These things cost like 15,000, 20,000, and she can't even get on the free app. But let me be fair. Let me ask the question, because it's Steel Curry. It's a serious man. Have you ever thought about using a matchmaker?
I have not, and I've not done it, but I would be open to it. But it's expensive. But no, I have not.
Jamie St. Patrick, do you have a recipe book and are oxtails on the menu? He's asking the real questions.
You done know, baby. Curry shrimp, brown stew chicken. Let's go.
Listen, Suzette, can you cook?
I can. I'm not the great cook, but I can. I'm not known as the best cook in my family because my family could cook, but we work on it.
Listen, Suzette, okay. Just let's try to break things down just like the simplest way, because a lot of men, including myself, have a question, and I want to be respectful, right? So don't take this in the wrong way. But you're a beautiful woman, all right? You're a beautiful woman. You're educated, all right, and you're dating. So you cannot convince guys in the chat that the guys that you were at the damn, Cheesecake Factory with, that they don't want to start a relationship with you. No guy in the chat believes that. They don't believe it.
They want to have sex.
All right, okay, but how do you know that on the first or second date?
Guys,
damn. Wait. Now we're talking. Wait.
We don't do that.
How do they say it?
We're not acting like straight up cap. Please drop them caps, ladies. No, listen, not every man you meet wants you for really you. Some men are just there for what they can get.
I used to see them watching, looking through my window. This day in particular, I had my son with me.
This is real. That's not everybody. Okay. I heard in your opening, you're saying everybody wants to get married, not at the same time, not in the same season. So everybody you meet is not trying to wife you.
All right. Fair. No, your question. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. How do you, as a woman? This is an interesting question. How do you, as a woman, vet or decide or distinguish between the men that only want to hit? Because let's be honest. Let's be honest, guys. Let's be respectful, but let's be honest. Any guy that's sitting across from Suzette at the Cheesecake Factory wants to hit. All right. So now she has a problem, because she needs to decide the men who want to hit versus between the men who actually want a relationship. So how do you make that calculation, Suzette?
There are signs and signals.
Okay.
I have seen. Maybe they should be answering, but that.
No, what have you seen? We want to know from a woman's perspective.
If I go out and the conversation goes left real quick, so it's like get to know you. Hey, where you from? What you do. What do you like to do in your spare time? Kind of fun stuff. It switches from maybe like what's up with your family? I'll ask about the family structure, like, hey, you grew up with your mom and them, or who raised you, that kind of thing. I'm trying to figure out who, how this person developed. And it'll just go left real quick. It'll be like, I guess I can't repeat everything here, but
no, you can repeat it. It's not like it's gonna get monetized anyway. Go ahead. We want to know. We want to know. Listen, the people ask you to come up. The people ask you to come up. They want to hear directly from you. They don't want to hear from me. And they want to hear
roasted.
They set you up, fucking people in the chat, man. The chat is undefeated. They are undefeated.
I'm like, bruh, I was nervous. Y'all done put me on a Kevin Samuels episode. I'm just trying to live my life, meet somebody nice.
So how do you... here you go again. I'm just trying to meet somebody nice. Guys, like, listen, this is what kills us. When the women, you say, oh, I'm just trying to meet somebody nice. What did you say 10 minutes ago? I'm just trying to meet somebody that can hold down a job, right? But it's not true. You have not true, because when I asked you, right now you said,
you going back to the apps. You going back to the apps. Okay.
I was not. No. I wasn't going to the apps. Okay. You just said, and I quote, if we could have the court reporter read back, you said, I'm just looking for somebody nice. That's what you said. 10 minutes ago, I asked you, what you wanted in a good man, and you had all of these elements. Was that elements. A long list? Was it long? It had at least 10 things on it.
Oh, but
and the ironic part is that I don't think nice was on there.
No, but compassionate goes with nice, funny goes with nice. Those things go together, I think.
Right.
Okay, I should have put it on there, but nice personality is nice.
I would just say it kills guys when women like you, beautiful women, say, "Oh, I'm just looking for somebody nice," and men know that's cap.
No, you guys,
you just said it. Wait, are you saying that's not cap?
No,
you're just looking for somebody nice.
Y'all looking for wives, and y'all not looking for wives. I want you to be truthful. Y'all not looking for wives. Y'all looking for hangout buddies and friends with benefits and friend zone benefits and that foolishness. That's what y'all. I mean, not everyone, right, and I'm not going to say all men are the same. So please don't make me all women because I'm not the same. But I'm just saying it's not. You're painting it as if every man is trying to wife the girl he takes to Chili's or cheesecake. That's not true.
You're making a fair point. Which is why I asked, how do you distinguish? Let's back up for a second. Let's say you go on 10 dates. Out of those 10 dates, what would you imagine would be the number of men who would just want to hit versus the number of men who want a relationship?
Remember, I live in South Florida.
Okay, that's fair. Fair. What does that mean? Because a lot of people don't know what that means.
I think there's a big hookup culture here. There's a big hookup culture.
Okay.
So that's why I rely on friends and family to give me vetted people. Right? So you're not like just out there, because people are just out here just doing what they want to do. Presenting one thing, and truly they are other things. So I think out of 10, 7 or 8.
Wow. So 7 or 8 just want to hit, and then
absolutely.
So then that's tough. That's tough. So then that's tough. Because so then how do you, I can imagine that some women would just fucking give up hope. It's hard. It seems to me that women could view this almost as a needle in the haystack, that there's so many men trying to hit and not be in relationships. But let me ask you though, why is it, if you are beautiful and intelligent and have a great career, why is it that you think a man would not want to be in a relationship with you?
I think, I hate to say it, but some men are, quote unquote, even though I don't feel like I am, intimidated, if you will.
Here we go.
I don't know. I'm not dating with intention. I hear you, Xavier. Thank you. I hear you. Some men may feel I'm out of, quote, their league. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer for that. Why I think there are men that may not want to.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about this? This is weird because we were just talking about this. It's funny how sometimes coincidental. Listen, there are 100 men that want to go out on a date with you. Let's just say out of those 100 men, you go out with 7. All right. But you get to choose. The 100 already chose you. You chose those 7. W is for Wombo is saying, listen, what if the 7 that you chose are the ones that don't want relationships?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna read some more comments because this is getting a little redundant here. So let's read some more comments. As a matter of fact, where we at 59. we're at the 1 hour mark. Yeah, it says the lead attorney finally gets sick of Suzette bringing up Kevin Samuels. Yeah, because she said his name a couple of times. Yeah, we're just about done with this video. Let me see how many. Um, oh, we had 1 hour and 39 minutes. If there was a comment that I wanted to read, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. There was a lot of good comments. Someone said, Thorough Brown says this woman agrees with everything but isn't willing to do anything to get what she claims to want. She's going to wake up and be 40 years old, if not already. Sorry if y'all hear Medea's funeral in the background. Soncerae Smith says, look, I don't care what the title says. I love seeing these two together. She's fun, exciting, and smiles a lot like TLA. I think these two look damn adorable on screen. I think they look adorable, shoot, together. I said, shoot, she should try to date him. But they probably just good friends. Kay says, enjoyed the banter, great show. It's her expectations and she's not intentional. I agree with that. Richard said, nice lady. Unfortunately, she'll be single and childless for the rest of her life. I agree with that. Because again, like I said, and it bears repeating, ma'am, you 32 on the low end. And in my heart, you a good 35. So, I mean, if you don't mind, and not to say obviously women get pregnant in their 40s, late 30s, early to mid 40s, and so on. But hey, I mean, I just don't think the average woman wants to be Janet Jackson having her own grandchild at 50. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. um And hopefully, I don't know if I should write this in the comment section, but I'm hoping she checking on her eggs as she having this conversation, because if she's never been pregnant and she doesn't know for a fact that she can get pregnant, she needs to look into that as well. Oh, this is the comment I was looking for. JP says, it's my brother's name, or that's what we call him. Ladies, we men all want sex. The good men as well as the F boys. The notion to discount a possible relationship with a man because he wants sex is ridiculous. Now, if he didn't want sex, most women would then question his sexuality or his intentions. I agree 1,000%. And that's what I couldn't understand. It's like, we as women say all men wanted sex, and it's a true statement, good or bad, good guy, bad guy. They all want sex. And it's their nature. So um why do we judge a man's nature? Is a question I have for the people. It says the notion to discount a possible relationship with a man because he wants sex is ridiculous. Now, if he didn't want sex, most women would then question his sexuality or his intentions. He can't win in that scenario. If you are two consenting adults on a date, and you are both physically attracted to each other, that's the normal desire. Now, the question becomes, do you have sex on a first date? And to me, I have to agree with a popular YouTuber. I'm not gonna say his name because Lord have mercy. That first of all, you don't go out on a date with somebody that you are not sexually attracted to. Especially if your intentions are specific. You know, if you just dating to be dating, I mean, it's kind of pointless. But if you're dating with the intention of being married or wanting a serious relationship, um, it doesn't necessarily make sense that you hold out on sex that long. The whole 3 month thing, which at one point I thought was a thing, but shit, at this point, I'm like 3 days in, bitch. I'm taking the drawers off. I think I said that already. And so Boss Black says, I think you're misunderstanding the point. No woman wants a man whose primary focus is sex and not getting to know her and building a partnership. Lord God Jesus. Girl, we just not gonna say marriage. We just gonna keep on calling it a partnership. And we ain't gonna say, to say marriage is to die. Apparently. She continues on and says, if all he wants is sex, he will not make a good partner to anyone. Who said anything about all a man wants is sex? Girl, ain't nobody said that. Peter chimes in, says, and this is what Kevin talked about. She has given sex out when she was younger and worth more. Yes, your value goes down, women, because you're worth more in your prime, in your mid to early 20s. So you giving away your sex in your mid to early 20s, and all of a sudden when you get 40, you want to talk about you 90-day rule. Now, if that's what if that's something that you do, 90-day rule, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, that's on you. But so he says, now that her value for marriage is lower, she is picky about sex. A lot of older women have this problem. Don't bother going on dates if you're not ready for sex. And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't like to use the word feel often, but by the third date, if you can't tell, not to say that you're going to marry him, but if you are specifically, seeking marriage, you need to be, you're going to have to be a lot more selective in general. And depending on the man, that's how you keep your body count down, ladies. You have to become more selective in who you choose to go out on a date with. Otherwise you're just gonna be going out on dates with men for a free meal and with no intentions on anything. But if your intention is to marry, I mean, waiting after you Playing the weight game is risky. The older you get. I mean, you could try it, but I think by the third date it's fair. You know, even if you space it out a little bit. By the third date, you should be ready to drop them draws. um, because at that point you ask him about you can ask about a lot of stuff within 3 days. And if you marriage minded, by the first date you can even at least say, have you ever been married? Get a feel for it that way. Um, do you believe in marriage? If you don't want to just outright ask him, because you feel like it make you look desperate, or not ask him, but reveal that you yourself would like to be married one day, you can just ask him. And then that'll actually probably in turn bring out the whole conversation anyway, because you'll say, well, do you so you're talking. So, have you ever been married? And it doesn't matter how old he is. Shit, if he's 25, ask him. Just so you can get that out there. Have you ever been married? No. Um, do you believe in marriage? Would you like to get married someday? That you can't scare a man away by asking him if he'd like to get married someday. And if you do scare him, then that he belongs scared. He belongs right where he's going out the door. Because that's not a question to run from. And a lot of women don't know how to bring that up on the first date. First or second date. By the second date, ma'am, you need to know. Especially if that is your goal. By the second date, have you been married? Are you looking to, how do you feel about marriage? Do you believe in marriage? Would you like to be married someday? That's not saying I want to be married now. You have to marry me. No. Um. Vada Lawrence said it's clear why she's single. Oh, okay. This is a good one. When the former CEO of Pepsi said that she goes home and submits to her man who earns way less, women lost it. Take a hint, sisters. Men don't want masculinity. So the CEO of Pepsi, I don't know that story. I gotta look that up. But I have heard that before. Um, and she's already said that she knows couples, her friends have husbands that make less than her. I reply, if she wants children, she's not gonna go for anyone making less than six figures anyway, so that she could stay home comfortably. So she's basically doomed because all that talk about what she would do right away, and if a man came along right away, would she put her career aside, is a bunch of cap. Girl, you're lying. Boss Black. This chick here, she says being an educated high earner doesn't make a woman masculine. Submitting to a man doesn't make her feminine either. Well, girl, you need to explain. Um, and it ain't the fact that it ain't the problem of you being high educated doesn't make a woman masculine. But then again, yeah, it kind of does, because at the end of the day, you can have all the education you want and be a high earner. But a high earner educated person, man or woman person, is gonna be working long hours um First of all, and by nature, that's just a masculine trait for a woman to be working long hours. When the hell she gonna have time to take care of her kids? Oh, shout out to not shout out, but rest in peace, Tommy DeBarge. I know that came out of nowhere, but I saw that earlier today. If you don't know now, you know. Um, so yeah, that would make you masculine, honey. In a sense, not completely, but and obviously this Pepsi lady wasn't. She's a high earner, and she's feminine. She submits to her husband. But then this boss black person says submitting to a man doesn't make her feminine either. Says who? Well, what the hell does it make her? What is your definition of submission? Girl, boo. Do you got a man? Let's ask her, y'all. I'm gonna say, where's your husband, fool? Now, why she make up some story about he in the back room, like they do on Kevin Samuels? So, where you at? Where your engagement ring at? Oh, it's at the, I don't know. It's in the closet somewhere. um, and if you can't take my opinion and my commentary, that's on you. Um, my comment section will remain open. My opinion is my opinion. I stand. I am open to being wrong. I don't really give a shit. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't have a problem admitting it most of the time. Um, Interesting comment. Lauren Melody says, this was interesting. It's like the whole time I was watching this video, I was holding my breath. Contrary to popular belief, there are women who are not actively seeking marriage but are afraid to say it for fear of looking loose and irresponsible. Best wishes for the beautiful lawyer if she's honestly looking for marriage. At the end of the day, be true to yourself. Ma'am, that lady almost 40 years old. If she wasn't, I would hope that if she wasn't actively seeking to be married, that she wouldn't be on this man's channel wasting time. Fear of looking loose and irresponsible to who? Her family? The same family that told her ass to go out there and hustle and grind and get her degrees? That never talked to her about looking for a husband or being marriage minded? Ma'am, girl, sit down. DC Refugee says, while the guest was pleasant, she is either fooling herself or disingenuous when she said she would drop everything to be a wife and a mother, but later said she can't really cook. I knew the jig was up. The simple truth is that she wants the freedom of a single life and benefits of a marriage to a man of value. She reminds me a lot of a South Florida lawyer who was with my cousin when he was working his way through med school and his internship. They got along well and seriously considered marriage, but she wanted marriage on her terms, not his. So he never proposed. He relocated to where his residency took him, and finally he started his medical practice. He eventually ended up with a woman of another ethnicity while she remained single. If she had chosen to be his wife today, they would be Dr. and Mrs. John Doe. However, her terms were to be Dr. John Doe, and Mrs. Jane Smith Doe, Esquire. As it stands today, she remains Miss Jane Smith, Esquire. Well, see, there you have it. And there's nothing wrong with being single, if that's what you want. But if you don't want to be single, it's a whole different story. The Bible says a single person is a blessed person. But also, and I believe God will provide. I don't necessarily buy into Kevin Samuels and his whole, well, do you got $50 million put aside to, retire on, and so on and so forth. My mother was separated from my dad for 16 years. They never got divorced. And just imagine if a woman had been with him, had been his girlfriend for 10 years. And here it is, him and my mother been separated for 16 years. My mother ended up with his whole veteran benefit pension thing. And she's living quite comfortably. No, she can't, now minus the traveling and all that stuff, she can't do all that. And that's not even something that she was concerned about, you know. But she will get his veteran benefits until the day she dies. And, she can pay her bills and pay her rent and, have a few extra dollars to, get her a little trinkets or whatever she wants. Um, so and to me that's God providing. Now, um, that's just an example. Just saying. And that example, again, like I said, you get with a man who is married if you want to, married and separated. Like I said, he could have been with my dad could have been with somebody for 10 whole years. 15 years. They were separated for 16. He could have been with the woman for 15 years. And my mother still was the beneficiary of his veterans benefits. So take the chance if you want to, and choose not to be married if you want to. But you still got to get to the end of this life some kind of way. I do agree with that notion that Kevin talks about. And call it what you want. Well, you just getting with somebody because of money or so that you can secure yourself, so that you can secure your ending or whatever. I mean, call it what you want. But hey, you gonna give as just as much as you receive. I'm gonna, be your woman, your wife, and take care of you, and you take care of me. Whether it's an agreement that's laid out, or it's something in my mind that I, conjured up myself that said, well, I'm gonna get with this man because he got this and this and that, but I'm gonna still take care of him, you know. But I'm gonna get with him because he X, Y, and Z. I mean, that's not. I don't advocate for that, but I'm just saying. Ultimately, we do have to get to the end of life, and I'm going on a tangent. So let me get back to where I was at. Um. Oh, now see, this person, Nubian, I'm born and raised from South Florida. It's an absolute cesspool for sure, which is why I moved. See? Now I got a few family members that live there, but they married. My aunt and her kids, and then my aunt and her husband. Their older set of children are married, boy and girl, and then they have two younger sets of kids. Um, I think they both their husbands are from out of the country because my cousin learned Spanish and was traveling abroad. So her husband for sure is from another country. And I think the other one, I don't know if he's black or not. Anyway, um And mind you, my older two cousins, they've been with their partner for years. So they kind of like met when you supposed to meet in college or early 20s, whatever. Anyway, um, okay. Um, okay, let's read this. Badgering the witness, Your Honor, she has already stated she's not on dating apps. We need that long list to live. Empathy carries his own weight. Is a man of his word. Men are in line with the intention to hit. What? I guess I read that right. Oh, my phone. I'm dying. Okay, so Babyface response empathy. You're talking to men. Empathy is not the core of a man's work. I may be misinterpreting your comment, but yes, thirsty Sims are in line. Used to hit. Sounds like y'all looking for women and men. Oh, I want to read this. Shit. Oh, wait, shit. She's in Miami. I get lucky if I drop 150 on dinner. And that's just going out with my cousin. With a female, we're looking at 2 to 300 easy. Ain't no 125 down here, bro. Um, this had me cracking up. Get out of here. Mike King says, we don't believe you. You need more people. This is coming from your fellow Jamaican American brethren. Clay Slayton says, already a red flag, afraid to say her status and definitely afraid to tell her age. Talks a good game, but has the mentality as most modern day women. She reads picky and hard to mesh with. Kenya Scott says she lies so many times my head hurt. LJ wants to know what she did electrician. Um, Macombi Financial says if he makes 50K, they're not going to be picked by her. Sad to say. It's not necessarily sad to say, but it would have been nice for her to just say what the hell she wanted. Even if she said, I can't live. Even if she said, I wouldn't be comfortable if my husband didn't make 75,000 or more. Because her pool is already gonna be low. Her dating pool. But 75K is a good, it's reasonable. But again, she needs to relocate because from what I'm gathering about Miami, baby girl, you gonna be 50 like Janet Jackson having the first kid. Or just marrying any old thing and then getting divorced in less than a year. Georgia Peach said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with sex on the first date, girl. Raquel Rose says she's capping. Oh, this is a good one. AM says Suzette doesn't want to be viewed as a feminist and she tries to suppress it, but it's ingrained in her, and relationship outcomes are proof of that. She's going to be a sugar mama or one of Renegen's best customers. Either way, she can afford it. James Morrell says the real problem here is she's probably never met a man that truly turned her on and made her want to give him her soul in bed. If a woman is truly sexually drawn to you, even if you're broke, they will bend over backwards for you. She's trying to find a partner in crime to fit her program, So much so that she's taken on a masculine role and is looking for submissive men. But those men don't turn her on. Hmm. Oh, okay. A golf tweetler says many women passed on my husband who is 6'8" just because he was in the beginning stages of starting his IT career. Didn't own a house yet, didn't have a car yet. Somehow I saw a great guy who reminded me of my dad, very good looking and humble, blah blah blah. As a matter of fact, many outfits, female colleagues laughed at him. Well, he would be walking into work and out of work because his pants were too short because he could not find pants long enough. That was before we met. Once we met and I witnessed the jokes that were not funny at work, I made sure to shop and find the nicest slacks, tie shirts, and jackets and the cologne I could for him. And he looked stunning and smelled stunning every morning. I remember a few of the women saying to me, "Tell us that you pick out the clothes for him. Why do you want him to look so good? Aren't you worried?" And my reply was always, if I had to worry about him, I would not be with him. He worked his way up, we built our way up, and I am the Becky Kevin Samuels always talked about. We've been together 25 years and still feel beyond treasure. He recently had a medical scare, and I can tell you, I don't know what I would do without him. He's been my oh, it's gonna make me cry. Um. Oh wait, let me finish reading. He worked his way up. We built our way up. Oh, right there. To the young women out there, the man that is for you, you have friend zone. You already know him and he cares about you and you care about him now. Now you got to go figure out how to unfriend zone him and have the right guy in your life, not based on some fairy tale bullshit. There's so much work in a relationship every day from everyone, and it's not a 50-50 deal. Thank you. I said that. I know I heard that somewhere. It's not a 80-20. It is 100 and 100 from both, and sometimes you're going to have to give 120%. That's what it's about, giving all of yourself to the relationship and to the partnership. I found out how much I could count on my husband when I lost my brother 4 years into our relationship, and then my father 4 years later, my nephew 4 years later, then my sister 4 years later, and my mom just this May. Wow. The very same mother in law who didn't acknowledge me for 2 decades, yes in a card, yes over the phone, but only visited once. Guess where she had to live at the end of her life? That's why I knew when I met him what kind of person he was and that he would love her no matter what and he did, and I'm grateful for that, even though I still have resentment towards my own mom for not accepting us for 20 years. Is this because wait, she said I'm the Becky Karen Samuels. Does she mean that she married a black guy? Wait a minute, let's see. I can't say. I don't know. Is he Negro? Is he a Negro? We don't know if he's a Negro. I had a patient who used to say, "I's Negro," but she looked like a white lady. She was from Emporia, West Virginia. All right, y'all. On that note, this thing is going on. Shit. Okay, 2 hours and 13 minutes. That's plenty of time for me to get out what I had to say, child. All right, feel free to like, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this video if you can get through it. Hopefully more to come. Thank you. Bye, y'all.